Welcome to Body.Temple.Dance. I'm so excited for you to be experiencing this. If this is your first time, just a brief introduction of what this practice is. It's a movement practice, mostly circular and serpent-like, that is meant to move trapped energy out of the body. And 2 weeks ago, when I think it was during Valentine's Day, the theme was self-love. So we were working on finding that inner love within us as opposed to looking outside of us. And we were also the following week, so last week, we were working on the right side of the body and the left side of the body as a unification, as an inner marriage, as opposed to also looking for that outside of us. So it seemed appropriate that we take one step back and focus on the divine feminine, regardless of gender, lives on the left side of your body. And not only does it live on the left side of your body, it also is functioned and controlled by the right side of the brain. So normally when we start these classes, which are fully sovereign, so you can take some, all, or none of what I say, and usually we do a journaling practice to ground, but instead of journaling, I thought we would start with a meditation practice so that we can identify the areas in the right side of the brain as well as the left side of the body that either feel tense or constricted, or whatever words that you're identifying that's specific to you. So to begin, I invite you to take a seat. You can do this practice seated or lying down, either on your back, on a mat, on your bed, just getting really cozy and comfortable as possible. Traditionally, meditation is done with the legs crossed and the back straight. In some Christian and Catholic traditions, the head is down and the back is rounded. So do whatever is most comfortable for you. And just going within as deeply as possible for now, as we start and warm up, as we begin. And even throughout the practice, just going within, using your intuition to guide you. So just take in a really deep breath. Maybe move the shoulders around, move the head around, just getting really grounded into the body. And I want you to take your attention to the right side of the brain, the right side of the head. And imagine yourself as a miniature version of you. Like if you could take yourself and shrink yourself down. And imagine yourself entering through the neck. You are now on the inside of your neck. And gradually, slowly, softly, lovingly walking up, up, up into the brain, underneath the skull, and in between the brain and the skull. So maybe there's some fluid there. And maybe take a look around. This is probably the first time you've ever done this. And look around and notice what it looks like. What does it look like in there? How does it feel? Maybe walk all the way up to the top of the crown. And as you walk up slowly, softly, lovingly, identify any areas where maybe you hit a block or some type of stuck energy. And you don't need to know what it is. It doesn't need to have a story. Just identifying as you walk up and down the right side of the brain, and make it 3D, maybe even 5D if you can, traveling around the brain, through the front half of the sphere, the back half of the sphere. Go at a diagonal, both diagonals. And in this magical space here, nothing can be harmed. So you can move through the tissue and it just magically heals as you're walking through. Just bringing your awareness to all of these spaces that maybe you never noticed before. And as you walk through the right side of your brain, can you simultaneously identify any areas that you can feel in the left side of your body? I know that's really hard, so it may not come right away, but just practice walking around, playing around, looking around the right side of the brain. And as you do so, what arises on the left side of the body? And do you identify any stuckness, any tension, any areas in the right side of the brain that feel stuck? And if you identify something, if you hit something, if something stops you, just be really loving with this area, giving it all your love. And I want you to imagine a violet flame entering now, entering the right side of your brain, the right side of your head. This is a very real flame. It has a very real creative energy, a healing energy. And you can imagine either a flame or a ribbon, whatever you like, whatever works best for your imagination. And just moving this flame or this ribbon throughout the right side of the brain. Just bringing in source light into any areas that maybe were disconnected, fragmented, distorted, separated. Just bringing love and light. Just moving that flame wherever it needs to go. You decide, you choose. Maybe breathing if you hit a spot that's just doesn't feel very good. Just massaging that area with that flame. Maybe the flame gets more intense. Maybe taking some shapes with that flame. What kind of patterns are you drawing? I notice sometimes I draw flowers in my brain or flowers around my body. Can you imagine flowers growing out of your brain? And what kind of sensations do you feel when you do this, when you imagine something so beautiful? And before we end this quick meditation, just to tap deeply into the body, try to remember these areas that you felt, where they were in the mind, in the brain, or in the left side of the body. You could take your hands together and rub them. Rub, 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 and place them softly, carefully over the eyes, not touching the eyes directly. Just hovering over, maybe blinking a few times. Waking back up into the world, waking up a second time today. Maybe looking outside your window, looking at an object in your room, looking at a wall in your room, noticing something different today. You could take an object like a flower or a plant. I have one here for us. Maybe looking at whatever it is you're looking and identifying something new. So what texture does this object have? What color is it? How does it feel? How does it smell? If you can smell it, if you can touch it. Just slowing down. Noticing things that we don't notice because we're moving so quickly because the world is trying to rush us, trying to tell us to go, go, go. And we just need to slow down and pay attention to anything and just notice the beauty around us. I'm looking at some beautiful trees outside my window. And notice how the trees are just still, they're not complaining, they are grounded. And you are also like a tree. Maybe you were once a tree in a past life. And notice how this object or this tree or this painting, whatever it is you're looking at, can be both separate from you and connected. How, where do you merge with this object? And how are you separate? Can you practice merging with it and separating from it? And this practice is called resourcing. So this can be done in moments of trauma, like a traumatic experience, or if you're just out in the world walking around and you experience freeze or a panic attack, you can ground through another object. And we have a beautiful hummingbird visiting us. Hello. Hummingbird medicine. Wow. Okay. So now we're going to get into the movement practice. And like I said earlier, just using your intuition, you can look at my body as an example if you want to follow my movements, or if you just want to do your own thing. Ooh, we're just going to slowly, lovingly warm up. So if you're seated or laying down, if you're laying down, maybe bring your knees into your chest and start to rotate into the ankles. So roll out your ankles. How do your ankles feel? How do your feet feel? A lot of times we forget we have feet. It's really hard to pay attention to these lower parts of our body, these roots. So just rolling into the feet. Going deeply into the mind, connecting the mind and the awareness and the consciousness into that body part, as if you can think with your feet. If you are on your back, you can take your knees in a circle, your hips in a circle. If you are seated, you can massage your legs, just feel into your legs. Maybe move out any energy that you felt on the left side of the body too. And maybe touching the left side of your body with your right hand, making that connection, that cross connection. Are there any noises that want to come out? Giving that leg a massage, a good rub. Maybe massaging that right arm or left arm with your right hand. Maybe taking these circles up into the hip area now. So moving the hips forward, side, back, side, forward, side, back, side, and then smoothing out the circle like you're making a circle with your hips. Getting out any creakiness. You could take serpent movements like this, like forward, up, back. Maybe massaging the womb. Taking the upper body in circles, or actually the upper chest first before we do the whole body. So take the chest forward, side, back, side, forward, side, back, side, and then smooth it out into a circle. So those same circles you were doing with your hips, you can isolate into the upper chest. You can expand out, arms out in a T, chest forward, expansion, and then contraction. Bring it closer, close your arms, and round out your back. And then continue that a few times. Expansion and contraction. Okay. And now we are gonna bring the entire upper body in a circle with the hips. So these are Sufi circles in mystic traditions. I've said this before if you've been here before, but if you're new, Sufi circles are kind of like dancing with the divine, like isolating, removing everything, all the noise out from the rest of the world and just kind of moving in a circle with the divine. So upper body in a circle along with the hips. And how deep can you bring your awareness and your attention down into your body, down into the ground, as opposed to being in the head? You can move as micro, as small, as slow, or as fast as you'd like. Now, if you'd like to move into a whole body, neck and body circle. You can also bring the arms. You can dig up, out, and around. Maybe pushing out any energy. Up, out, and around. Up, out, and around. Okay. Now, see. So the second part of this class is shaking. So if you feel up to it, if you want to rise now at this moment. And before we shake, if you just want to take any movements or walk around your room, maybe look at one side of the wall and then slowly turn around and look at the other. You can rock yourself, you can cradle yourself if you don't feel like doing any of the shaking. You could swim around your room. And just dancing with the divine, maybe inviting in your ancestors. We do have a lineage from my teacher that is here with us. The unseen is always present. So thank you to our beautiful ancestors and my teacher's beautiful lineage that really help us move these energies out and away and guiding us on how to move. So tapping into your intuition, like how does the body want to move? If you allowed it to move, what would the body do if you allowed it to? So how funky, how weird, how ugly can you get? And remembering that seed that we planted in the beginning when we were feeling into the right side of the brain and the left side of the body, if you were to do that now, what do you feel? And how can you move towards it? How can you just continue to bring attention to it? I feel a lot in my left foot, my left leg. If there's any trembling that needs to arise, maybe now's a good time to do some shaking. Oh, here we go. So the shaking part can be done either one body part at a time, or if you want to start whole body, just bounce into your knees and just bounce. You can shake one body part at a time, holding onto a chair or a table. And switch. Shaking your leg as well, arm and leg. Oh, my ring just flew off. Is there any grief that wants to arise underneath a lot of our trapped emotions? Is usually grief, so this practice can trigger grief. I'm currently being called to massage my left leg for some reason. I don't normally do this in these classes, but it's important to just follow whatever comes up for you. So if you want to just massage that left leg or whatever intuitively comes up for you. Is there anything you need to get off your back? Ignore the back a lot. You can clasp your hands behind your back and bring your chest forward. And then round it out. So bring your head to your feet, rounding out your back, maybe bending your knees slightly and bouncing into the ground. And maybe taking, sorry, I should have said a slow roll up. Slowly roll up. I'm a little aggressive sometimes. So take your right arm or maybe cross both arms and connect it to your left leg. So just bringing that body connection, so cross both your arms and then bend at the waist and maybe rub your arms all the way down your left leg, just bringing that connection, that unity from the right side of the body over to the left. And you can be as soft and loving with that left side, because it's going to be love that's going to heal it, right? The divine is so loving. So just being open to that love that wants to come through, being open to any shapes that your ancestors, maybe imagine all of your ancestors behind you, kind of pushing you either forward or sideways. Like, it's not just your imagination, like they're speaking to you through your thoughts and through your imagination. So whatever is arising, just go in that flow, that direction. And the best way to do that is actually to release the mind. Like, don't go into thought. Bring your attention, your awareness into the body, as if the body has like its own conscious field. You just can't see it. Like, I imagine it kind of as like a clear outline or a clear sphere around us. So tapping into that frequency, into that energy field. If you want to squat, maybe take your hands down onto your thighs and squat down. We're not really doing too much womb work today, so just bringing that attention to the left side of the body. Maybe do a little twist. Are there any bounces, any tribal movements that you want to take here? And this isn't fitness. We're not doing this to lose weight or anything like that, or like try to improve. Like the purpose is to get deep into these emotions and these energies that need to move, that need to be released, that need to cry or scream. Okay, we're gonna do one more, maybe one more shaking song, or just freestyle. So I'm not gonna talk too much right now. Just do your own thing. If there's any tribal movements that you want to do, bring them in. Anything from your ancestry, your lineage, your family. I like to bring in some belly dancing. You could put your feet together, your legs together, and kind of tighten your legs and your bum and just shake your whole body. Okay. That songer was shorter than I thought. Whoops. Let me do one more. Okay. And if you're done with the shaking part, if you want to not necessarily wind down, but slow down a little bit, you can take yourself into like a dancing meditation. So it's kind of like, it feels similar to meditation where you just kind of drop your awareness down into your body. Just a little bit more slower movements, smaller movements, bringing that awareness back into the left side of the body. You can imagine that your arms, your hands are catching water, and then you can wash yourself, you can bless yourself. Okay. So you want to officially wind down now. Come back down to either a seat or on your back. Yawns are good. Maybe drinking some water. Just relaxing into the frequency that you generated. Relaxing into the earth, into Divine Mother. Just surrender, like whatever came up, just let it go. Like let her drink it up. Let her slurp it up. It is very real. I remember once, just as a testimony, I had this awful heartbreak, and I was just very naturally looking out into, like, I was laying down. I was at my parents' house, and I was looking out in the window, and I think it was a full moon or a new moon. It was at the end of the year during Christmas, and I just said I didn't realize it was a full moon or a new moon. I just very naturally, it was like an honest request, just a very authentic, organic request that just came out of me. I was just like, can you please like help me with this heartbreak? Like I can't, I've been trying so hard to clear it and it won't leave me. Can you please help me? And so that night, she appeared to me in a dream, but she appeared to me as my sister. She looked like my sister. And she started to hug me and kiss me, like these deep, like hugs and kisses that were like every time she kissed me, every time she hugged me, I felt like a release, like it was a healing hug. It was a healing kiss. It wasn't just a regular kiss, a regular hug. And by the time she got to the back of my neck, she was kissing me on my neck. She got to the back of my neck. I realized, because in my dream state, I'm kind of like half awake, half asleep. I could tell when I'm um, like, I don't know how to describe it. Sorry, but I have a point. So, um, by the time she got to the back of my neck, I realized that like, oh, this is a very real being. This is a healing goddess or being. I better surrender because you could accidentally like finish the dream or like or push them away and then they leave on accident, or they can't complete the job. So I have to like really surrender. And that surrender is just like no fear, no fear, just total trust that this is going to be fine, that this is not going to harm me. And by the time she got to the back of my neck, she just took the biggest slurp. Like it was like it to me, I guess my third eye, it looked like it was liquid coming out of my lung area. She was just drinking up all my sorrow, all my pain that lived in my lung and my chest area. She was drinking it up. And then right before she left, she like got close to my face, my head. I still couldn't see her face. She didn't reveal herself to me. And she just said, remember. And she had the most beautiful cosmic voice. So divine. Like I could never, no one could create it because it was just so pure. It had like pure energy. It was like clean, like the purest, clean energy. And she just said, remember. And then I woke up and woke up and I kind of saw like a door, like she left through the door and the door closed. So I don't know where she came from. I don't know who she was, but she was definitely of the divine feminine essence, like a cosmic being. So just surrender into that love. Just practice surrendering here, because if that were to ever happen, you want to be able to release into her. You want to be able to give her your pain without fear, because that fear is going to literally close it off. She's not going to be able to. It's just a full like, ah. And I have a poem for us while you rest. It's called Bismillah from the Essential Rumi. It's a habit of yours to walk slowly. You hold a grudge for years. With such heaviness, how can you be modest? With such attachments, do you expect to arrive anywhere? Be wide as the air to learn a secret. Right now, you're equal portions clay and water, thick mud. Abraham learned how the sun and moon and the stars all set. He said, "No longer will I try to assign partners for God. You are so weak. Give up to grace. The ocean takes care of each wave till it gets to shore. You need more help than you know. You're trying to live your life in open scaffolding. Say, Bismillah, in the name of God, as the priest does with a knife when he offers an animal. Bismillah, your old self, to find your real name." I'm feeling called to remind you about that violet flame from the beginning that we invited in. That violet flame is also a creative energy. So if you could give a creative energy, a frequency or a code or a color, can you wrap yourself in that very real creative energy? And can you allow that creative energy to flow through you? And can you write from that creative energy, with, through that creative energy, as that creative energy? If there's any artistic endeavors that you have, can you use that energy, channel that energy, increase that energy, be aware of it? And as you fully surrender, maybe taking some last final stretches, maybe taking the arms above the head, stretching out the legs, maybe rolling onto one side if you were laying down, or maybe opening the eyes if they were closed. and pushing up into a seat. Ah. And just noticing what you feel now as opposed to how you felt from the beginning. If there's any remaining grief, or if you need to continue to lay down and cry, please do so. Allow it to all release, because once it starts to release, once you start to cry, then all the other cries from all the other memories will also, like your body will know, oh, she's crying. So then like it's gonna open up the opportunity for these other emotions to come out, regardless of whether you know why you're crying. Just let it all out as much as possible. And then just remember that this practice is, take this practice off the mat, our imaginary mat here, and into your life. So when you cook, when you clean, when you work, when you're drinking a cup of water, when you're sleeping, maybe noticing how the left side of the body feels. Is it tense? Is it open? And what can you do to open? Maybe just move a little, maybe just squeeze your feet, maybe just give it a little like tightness, tight and release. So just releasing the feet, releasing the legs, releasing the womb, releasing the back, releasing the chest, releasing the arms, releasing the crown, just letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go. Thank you for coming to class, for watching this video. I usually host these once a week, so I hope to see you again next week. And if you have any feedback or comments or times that work better for you, I'm open to suggestions, so please let me know. And I'm so honored to have hosted this class for you. I will email all the info soon after class. So please drink some water, treat yourself nicely with all the love that you deserve. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Namaste.